Welcome to Happy Healthy Living with Yvonne Douglas. My name is Doug, and I'm so happy you're here today because we are going to make some delicious Amaretti Italian cookies, and I know you will love them. Stay tuned. Okay, so what is Amaretti cookies? Well, they're almond cookies, and they're so delicious. They are chewy inside, and they have a crispy outside, and we're going to top them with some maraschino cherries. Now, I just love these cookies because once again, it takes me back to New York and Mary Acunto and Grandma Florio, and she used to make these cookies, and I'm just remembering my childhood recently, and just thinking about them and how I used to love going down to their house, and they used to give me some delicious Italian food and delicious Italian desserts. So let's talk about all the ingredients we're going to need today. You ready? Here we go. Okay, so let's take a look at all the ingredients and supplies we're going to need to make these delicious Italian cookies. First, you need a mixer. This is my KitchenAid mixer, which I just love. You need one large egg. You're going to need half a cup of granulated sugar, 2 teaspoons of amaretto flavoring extract. You can also use the liquor if you want. So that's 2 teaspoons of that. A half a teaspoon of pure almond extract. Almond extract is very strong, so a half a teaspoon should suffice. And then we're going to use 1 3/4 cup of almond flour. We're using 2 tablespoons of all-purpose flour, 1/4 of a teaspoon of baking powder. We're going to need 1 teaspoon of orange zest and 1 teaspoon of lemon zest. And this is probably about 1/4 of a cup of powdered sugar. We're going to be using the powdered sugar to dredge our cookies in. So once we make our cookies, we're going to just roll it in that powdered sugar and then put it on our Silpat. And you can also use parchment paper if you don't have Silpat. And of course, a cooling rack that would be helpful for your cookies. And I am going to top them with some maraschino cherries. You could also top your cookies with almonds. That would be kind of nice. But I love the maraschino cherries because it kind of just reminds me of those cookies when I was a kid, when I was a little boy in New York with Maria Cunto and Grandma Florio. Anyway, let's start baking. Okay, so the very first thing we want to do is we want to add our egg. So I'm going to crack my egg here. That's 1 large egg. And we want to add our sugar. So we're going to mix that. I like having a rubber spatula so I can just scrape the sides when needed. Okay, that looks good. And now we're going to add our extracts. So remember, this is 2 teaspoons of the amaretto. Smells really good. And we're going to use half. We're going to use half a teaspoon of the almond extract. That smells really good too. Yum. I'm just going to kind of mix that a little bit. Stir it in there. Okay, now we're going to add our flour. Remember, this is 1 3/4 cup of flour, almond flour, that is. start to mix that flour in there. That looks good. Get my rubber spatula. And now we're going to add the 2 tablespoons of the all-purpose flour and the 1/4 teaspoon of baking powder. And 1/4 teaspoon of the baking powder. Stir that together. Okay, last thing we're going to do is add our orange and lemon zest. Give that a nice little mix. It smells so good. Okay, so next what you want to do, make sure your hands are lightly floured. We're going to just pick a little piece, kind of, and make maybe a 1-inch ball like that. And then we're going to dredge it in the powdered sugar. That's just dredging it, and we're going to place it on our thing. Now I'm going to slightly put a little indent. Let me show you with my finger right here. Just kind of push in just a little bit because we're going to use, I cut maraschino cherry and I cut it in half. And I'm just going to top it with the maraschino cherry, okay? So I'm going to make my cookies first and then top them with the maraschino cherries because the maraschino cherry has some of that juice on it still. Like, you want to drain your cherries, make sure you drain your cherries, but there's still maybe a little bit on there, so save that for last. I'm going to continue making my cookies, and when we come back, I'm going to show you what they look like. So I wanted to show you before I put it in the oven. By the way, the oven should be preheated to 350 degrees, and we're going to bake these for about 12 to 15 minutes or so. It really depends on your oven. But notice I'm just getting the maraschino cherries and placing them in that little indent. And of course I have some extra cherries for me. Yum. Yum. So these make about 15 cookies. I could have made a couple a little bit smaller, so maybe you can get about 18 out of them. But I'm going to put them in the oven now, and then we are going to give it a taste test. Yum. Here they are. They smell so good, and they're going to look all like crinkled. So I'm going to do a close-up so you can see that. And I really like how the maraschinos are on top. Almost looks like a little flower. So let's take a look. So they look so good and they smell great. Cannot wait to taste them. So you want to let them set for a little bit before you start moving them to the cooling rack. And probably after a couple of minutes, and then let them totally cool. Make sure you have a cooling rack, like I said. And then you can start devouring them. Yum! So they are done, and I cannot wait to take a bite. And just looking at them, I still remember Grandma Florio down the block from us in Whitestone, New York. And she was in a wheelchair. And when I would go visit her, I was like, oh gosh, I was like 5, 6, 7, 8 years old, somewhere around there. We moved to Texas when I was 10, so. But I remember going down to her house, and I'd always give her a kiss on the cheek, and she used to go, oh, good boy, good boy, good boy. And then she used to give me a kiss on the cheek too. So let's taste these Amaretti cookies. Mmm. 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 So good. Mmm. They are perfect. Chewy in the inside, a little crispy on the outside. Look, one has that crinkle look. Mmm, so good. With a good cup of coffee, nothing better. Mmm, so good. Thank you so much for joining us on Happy Healthy Living with Yvonne Douglas today. Remember, if you want that homey vibe, you need to subscribe, and please give this video a like. Until next time, my friends, happy healthy living. Bye-bye.